What's up, ladies and gents? Social Nurse here. It's an unfortunate situation that happened between Miss Anita Grayson, the 75-year-old woman that got into a physical altercation with the employee of a Tim Hortons donut coffee shop. It's really unfortunate. My understanding is that Miss Grayson's family, they've hired a well-known attorney to deal with this situation. Now, there is no autopsy available for us to read at the time that I'm recording this commentary. We do know that it's been shared. Miss Grayson had a cardiovascular issue, a heart issue. We do know that the family wants answers concerning Miss Grayson going into a donut shop and having a fatal outcome. Now, by now, most of you have viewed clips of the altercation. There are clips out there that will give a visual of what happened. My understanding, along with the clip, is that Miss Grayson ordered through the drive-thru. Her order was not correct, and she went inside the restaurant to address the issue. We don't know if the autopsy will report that the hand-to-hand combat between Miss Grayson and the Tim Hortons employee precipitated her passing, expedited her passing, accelerated her passing. We don't know if they are going to determine somehow that the physical altercation caused Miss Grayson, who already had a cardiovascular issue. I'm going to speculate and guess that Miss Grayson had been told by her physicians to avoid certain activities, maybe activities that will put a strain on her already compromised heart issue. I don't know. But I'll keep it simple. I think what's going to determine the outcome of a civil case, if that should occur, I don't know if a criminal case is going to occur. I don't think that a criminal case is going to occur, but a civil case might actually occur. And if Tim Hortons restaurants, franchises, if they have a policy that informs employees, that requires employees to avoid arguments and physical altercations, I think the family could easily win a civil case. You know, I worked in a fast food restaurant when I was 15. I was 16 or 15 or 16, 22 years ago. And the owner of that franchise let us know that we should not argue with the customer. We should avoid physical confrontation with the customer. We should make sure that we do not leave from behind the worker area where food is being prepared, the cash registers. We should not leave that area to have argument or physical contact with the customer. More importantly, we were told the customer is always right. If an order is incorrect, to quickly correct the order so that the customer could be on their way. If the customer came in irate, argumentative, could not be reasoned with, we were told to get the manager. We were told that we could ask the customer to leave, but we were told to call the police, to call the authorities if someone was in that restaurant acting up because of an order that was wrong or for any reason. We were told to retreat and to make sure that there was always division, a boundary, a physical boundary, like a door or the counter between ourselves and the customer. Now, of course, a customer can, jump over the counter or walk into the work area where food preparation or the cash registers are. Of course, they can step in there against without permission to continue on the argument and be confrontational. But that's a different story, right? Because they've crossed over into our off-limit work environment for customers. Did I say social nurse? Thanks for stopping by. Let me continue. I think in that clip, Miss Grayson was clearly too close to the workers. Although there was a door, a half door, like dividing them, she was extremely too close. And I just wish that the workers had thought about maybe walking. Maybe, there's more area, it looks in the clip. It looks like more area maybe to another portion of the store. Maybe if they had walked that way, she would have followed, but stayed on the outside. I think she would have followed and continued to be argumentative or upset, but that would have kind of gotten her away from that area where it's easy to just go through that little door. I don't know that Miss Grayson would have gone through the little door. But after asking Miss Grayson to leave, and she would not have left, she did not leave, because my understanding is she was asked to leave. Then someone should have been calling the police and, trying to get the other employees to move away from the area where Miss Grayson and the employees were standing arguing. Lastly, I will say I did see the employee put her hand on Miss Grayson. I saw it in the visual because there was no sound as stopping Miss Grayson, like stopping her. It wasn't quite a shove, but it was contact. Maybe Miss Grayson was trying to get even closer than she already was. But by touching Miss Grayson, who was already irate, Miss Grayson shoved the woman in her face, the employee, and that woman came from behind the work area for employees and commenced to having a physical altercation further with Miss Grayson. And we know, it was bad. The employee's hair was pulled out. It's reported that Miss Grayson put the hair in her purse. It was a terrible situation. Miss Grayson sat down, walked around a little bit, was given water. They ended up calling 911. Miss Grayson laid on the floor. And as we know, the outcome was fatal. I don't know what's going to happen from this point, but I do think a civil case can be won, especially if Tim Hortons restaurant has a policy of what customer is always right, de-escalation. I think it would have been hard to soothe Miss Grayson, right? And people can be provoked. People that service customers can be provoked, and it's unfortunate. I don't see a criminal case. I can see a civil case in favor of the family. Just my thoughts, social nurse.